Okay, everybody, here we go again. I'm going to say some crazy stuff, and you guys are just going to look at me like I'm crazy. But let's start off with something that is interesting to me and a topic. Once again, Ed is on here, my buddy. He's here, so we're going to have a discussion with you guys listening in. And this is really interesting. This is Sylvester Stallone, as you guys know him, Rocky, what have you. Now, I have nothing against Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, Mr. Stallone, whatever. It's just the information that's being given that I have an issue with. And listen up. I wish I could show you the videos. If some way I figure out how to do that, I'll show it to you. But this is his voice. Hopefully, you guys all can hear this.
Yo, Sly here. I was thinking about mental health and physicality and how they go hand in hand. I used to work out a lot with weights, and the check comes doing that. Your joints start to hurt, this, back, knees. It just happens. Sometimes getting into that kind of shape can kill you. So,
All right, I'm going to pause it there before I go any further because I want to piece this together. Now, Ed, you heard what he said, right? It happens. He's been working out with weights, blah, 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 blah. So it happens. Hey, it happens. It's what you do. It happens. You're going to have pain and aches, the physicality of it and all that. I 100% disagree. And I also 100% agree. The way he worked out and however his philosophy of training was absolutely will cause all of the issues that he has. And most people have these issues, and that's because they don't understand how to actually train properly. And so when I hear this, though, where I have the issue is that he's giving this information as matter of fact to everyone as, oh yeah, when you work out because I'm an old dude and I did it, da 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 da, you're gonna hurt. It's just gonna be what happens when based on my perspective, from my perspective, and from what I've gone through in my life and people I've trained, and how I feel personally, I find it that it's he's correct in what he's saying for him and for everyone who does it the way he does it. But there is another way, which is why I call my method the way method, because there is another way in which to go. And this way may not be as glamorous and, hey, let's throw 400 pounds on my back and look what I did, Ma. That's what I call it in the gyms when cats run around and they throw up 300 or 500 pound or whatever. I call it the look what I did, Ma thing. You know, when kids do something and they turn around and they're like, "Ma, look what I did." It's really it's the ego that is really running the whole show. It's not really you. You're thinking about, all right, why am I doing this? What is the purpose of weight training? Really, what is the purpose of it? A lot of people think it's just to look good or to build some muscle. They're not understanding the root of weight training, which is to make you healthier. You're becoming healthier, stronger in all facets of the body, as well as the mind. They're not thinking in those terms that the byproduct is a good looking body. Yeah, you're gonna have the muscles and they're gonna show and blah blah blah. But they're gonna show whether you do sometimes when you do it wrong, they're gonna show still. Why not just focus on doing it properly? Take the time that's necessary to learn it correctly so that you don't have to pay the piper as much as you get older. Tracking what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, his thing, in my view,
Yeah.
okay, is he was always working to overdevelop his body because he was going for a particular look.
Yes.
And so when he speaks about working out, I feel he should qualify that
Yeah.
or possibly quantify that
Mm-hmm.
because he is not working, like you said, for health.
Yes.
He's working for a visual
The show muscles.
impression.
He's looking for show
Yeah.
muscles.
Yeah.
He's in the movie industry, whatever. Even though I understand
So
that. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, so you're asking something of the body that the body was not designed to do. The body is not designed to develop muscles for show.
Yes.
The body is designed to develop muscles for work, for function.
Yes.
And so, it may hurt because you're pushing the body where it probably should not go, in my opinion.
Yes. Yes. Agreed. That's the issue. So him being who he is and saying this both to the older generation and the younger generation, to me gives a false impression, as opposed to educating, which I know he's trying to do, is to educate you, because the intention is not malicious. The intention is good. He's trying to give you some game and say, hey, listen, this is what happened to me, blah, 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 blah. But it's funny because he's not a trainer. He's not in my field. Has he done things to? Yes, he's built his body and all that, but he's built it with different intentions than what I do. I'm coming across with the intention of making you more athletic, more dynamic, more explosive, but to maintain the healthy part of it longer, to have healthier longevity all at once. I think it can all happen. You just have to be a little bit more attentive to how you're doing your things, as opposed to just, hey, I want bicep, let me throw on 400 pounds and start curling, or whatever weight you're going to do just to get there, and you rock your shoulders and move your back, and just to move the weight, because you know the body is going to respond and build without any thought of, hey, I'm like moving my back in an improper manner, using it in a way that it's not necessarily the best way to do it. And this may cause me harm later. So that those thoughts are never in anyone's mind. Their thoughts are primarily, let me get this look, which is what fitness nowadays, the word fitness connotes to me. It connotes that you want to look a specific way, as opposed to you want to be healthy, when in all actuality they both should be together. So this is very interesting when he said that, that once again, that, you know, things are going to be, you're going to feel this and blah, blah, blah. I just wholeheartedly disagree coming from my vantage point, but I do understand what he's saying for the individual who doesn't come from my my stable of clients and my thinking and philosophy. He's right. That's 90% of everyone will go through this because they're not looking at it from the standpoint of a healthy development. They're looking at it from the standpoint of, hey, let me get yoked out for Shorty over there, or for the football field, or whatever. And I go back to track and field, because I know track and field reasonably well. A lot of the track and field people I see are really yoked out that run the 100. Their shoulders are bigger than they need to be. There's so many things when I look at them, and I just question, what are you doing? Why do you feel that much muscle is so beneficial to you? Because technically, a pound more muscle than you need, especially in an area that is not necessarily, it's not needed to be that strong in that specific area, you're carrying dead weight. You're carrying dead weight. You could be faster if you remove that extra pound, or if you put it somewhere else. And those things are not being thought out. How to actually develop individuals so that they can move through space more effectively and efficiently. What's being looked at is how much can you lift, period. Oh, you're lifting more? Great, you're stronger, you're fat. That's not necessarily the case. And people don't understand this very term, diminishing returns. There comes a time when too much is too much. Too much salt in the soup does not taste good. There's a certain amount. Too little doesn't taste good. You have to have a specific amount. And each soup or each meal is prepared a specific way with a specific amount of ingredient in order to maximize the taste without overdoing it. Make sense? Understand? Am I off?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Let me play the other part of this. It's a 1 minute clip. I just wanted to grab clips before I forget which points I wanted to hit on with this. Here's the
I
other
found a
one.
new way to work out. There's fantastic trainers like Jeff Cavalier on Athlete X. His videos are amazing. But for me, at my age,
I agree.
I found the newest, hardest, toughest, most productive way is bands. Training with bands.
Training
stretching
with bands.
Where you can get an entire workout in 20 minutes that is life-changing. Aerobic, physical, it's different. You don't get bored, which is very, very important. Getting bored when you work out, that's a buzzkill. So try something new, be adventurous, and you'll just keep punching.
All right. Stops there. Did you hear anything that's interesting to you that he said?
Well, I first one I need clarification. Because it wasn't coming through clear. He said training with what?
With bands. Those are...
Like the TheraBands.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Polyurethane stretch bands that people use to do physical therapy and blah, blah, blah. Yes. Rubber bands.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
his thing is, I found this new thing, this da-da-da-da-da. This is what you guys should be doing, what have you. First of all, that's not new, but okay. It's new to him.
No.
It's new to him, so I guess it's new.
I worked in the therapy department back in '96. TheraBands were being used on a consistent basis then.
I'm just saying, this is what's interesting to me. It's nothing new. TheraBands, whatever. So he's like, okay, let's do the bands. And I'm like, okay, yeah. It's new. You should try it out. Yes, you should. Yes, you should. But what I'm gathering from it is the initial conversation with, weights can hurt you, blah, blah, blah. I've done it. It's hard on the body, blah, blah, blah. So I'm doing this new thing right here, this new hot. And all you got to do is just get yourself in with the bands. And wow, this is amazing. It's healthier. It's da-da-da. Okay. You could still do those wrong. And you could still damage yourself by doing them wrong. It's amazing to me how everyone gets caught up in the thing that they use, the tool that they use, and how, this new tool is so much better. And it's like a new hammer. You know what I mean? Here's this new hammer.
Yeah.
And you're not really good at being a carpenter and hammering nails. So you get this new hammer and you're doing your thing. And you're hammering away and you're wondering why your back and your elbow hurts. You got tennis elbow, your wrist, and then you see the old guy over there with this old hammer. Super old hammer. And he's there, whack, whack, whack. Whack, whack, whack. He's just running through things. It's how you use the tool. It's not the tool itself. The body, if you bring in bands and you're doing the exercising properly, you're still going to have added stress on those joints in those areas and still cause yourself discomfort. Will it be the same as lifting weights? Possibly. It depends on how heavy or how tight the bands are. Depends on how intense your training is. It is resistance training, which is what weightlifting is. Now, is it different? Of course it's different. My thing overall is that TheraBands is just one tool of a number of tools that you can use to develop the body. Should you add TheraBands or bands into your workout? Absolutely. I do. I've always added them to the workout. You have bands, you have weights, you have water, aquatic training, you have sand training, you have plyometrics. You have ball where you have medicine ball tosses in training. You have hurdle training. You have all these different modalities that you can use to develop the body. The problem is everyone sticks with just one thing because that's all they know. And they don't understand that flexibility in training is actually really what develops the body fully so that it functions in as maximum efficiency and range of motion as possible. So it's interesting he's saying this, but once again, he's doing the same thing. He's saying, okay, weights aren't cool because it's hurting you and da-da-da, so I'm doing bands now and this is amazing. Like, yeah, but you could still do the same thing with bands. You haven't learned the lesson. It's not what you're doing, it's how you do it. Okay? First thing, okay? Next thing I hear him say is that it's boring. Listen, boredom is a state of mind. It is not a matter of the exercises. It is your mind, your mentality that chooses to be, you choose to be bored. Doing the band workout, something different, does not necessarily remove boredom. If someone doesn't like working out, they don't care if it's weights, bands, whatever. They just don't want to be moving and sweating and breathing. They'd rather chill. And that's just what it is. So they would be bored with any workout. So to me, the thing is you have to change your mentality. What are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? And yes, are there things that some people like more than other things? Yes. And you should do those things, but there's a lesson I learned a long time ago, very long time ago. The things that you don't want to do, that you don't like to do, are usually the things you most need to do. You know what I mean? Like, I hated doing legs. Hated them. But that was the thing I needed to do the most. And so I learned to like doing legs. I learned that this was important. So after a time, I realized that burns the most calories. That develops the rest of my body really well. So I need my legs to run. So it's really important for me to develop those. So I put an importance on it. Whereas before, I just looked at it as, oh, this is so painful. Man, I'm tired from doing it. I sweat. And I realized, wow, the more fatigue I can push through, the stronger I will get overall. And so I changed my mindset to, this is making me stronger. This is making me healthier. I need to do more of this. So I no longer hated doing legs. I actually enjoyed it in the sense of, I appreciate it because there's nothing to enjoy about it. I appreciate the results that it brought, both health-wise as well as strength-wise. It actually benefited the rest of my body. So this thing about being bored, that's a mental condition, not necessarily a result of what activity you're doing.
Yeah.
See? I mean, I might be talking out the side of my neck, but that's how I see it, and that's how I bring it to my clients.
We focus on the new hotness, you know, and you and I have talked before about this thing that I heard a long time ago. It's not the brushes that fit the artist. Yep. I mean, we think that if we get the new thing on the market, oh, this is what will do it.
Yeah.
You know this. Remember? Oh, okay. Showing my age. The old commercial, the PF Flyers, make you run fast and jump higher. The shoe is gonna make you run fast and jump higher.
Yeah.
You get the Air Jordans, you'll be like Mike.
Yeah. No, you won't.
You wanna be like Mike? First you need like his jeans.
Yep.
And then you need to work your butt off like Mike did.
Yep.
That's how you be like Mike.
Yep.
Buying Air Jordans ain't gonna do it.
Nope.
You know, and so we get this thing where it is what you were talking about. You need to mentally engage.
Yes.
And we what I do, they talk about enjoying the process, and like you said, enjoyment is probably the wrong term to use, but you have to be mentally engaged in the process to appreciate the process as to what's happening. If it's just, okay, I need to get through this workout, let me get through this workout so I can do stuff that I want to do, it's not going to benefit you as much.
No.
Because you're just trying to get, like I said, just get through it until you can focus on something you want to do, going to the game or going to the club or something like that.
Yep.
That's where your focus is. Your focus needs to change.
Listen, nobody wants to do the hard stuff because it's hard. That's just what it is. No one wants to really do the hard. Who's like, yeah, I want to get up at 3 a.m. and no one. No one. They do it because they understand, okay, when I do this, I have more time overall during the day. I've accomplished more before anybody's wakes up, period. And that gives me gives me an advantage. So people do things. You know what? Kobe Bryant, I posted some stuff on Kobe Bryant before about how he changed his work ethic. Instead of working out 3 times out of the day, he would end up working out 5 times out of the day because he changed his schedule and just changed his overall mentality. Those extra 2 times a day, those extra hours and reps that he put in, after a couple of years, he says, it doesn't matter what somebody else does. They'll never catch you. You're already so far ahead that there's no way they're going to catch you. They're not going to train another extra hour than you're training. And he was notorious for this. Now, did he enjoy it? I don't know. I'm not him. But I know some of the guys that I spoke to that are Olympians or what have you, and I've asked them, hey, do you enjoy, running and doing this? And they said, quiet as it's kept. No, I hate it. I actually hate it. It's painful. Look at Usain Bolt. He will tell you in his interviews, this thing is killing me. It's killing me. But it's what's necessary in order to get to where you got to go. When people think they understand what he's saying when he's saying it's killing me, they have no idea what he's saying. They don't understand how many reps of this thing he has to do. Now, do I think that it's a little different from running the 400? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it is. The workouts are definitely different. But each person is built a specific way mentally to be able to handle a certain amount of stress or what have you. And the 100 and 200 worked for him mentally, so he did well with it. But it's still a challenge. I wouldn't want to do his workouts. Not now. Back then, when I was younger, I would have probably been all in because I was crazy and I don't know what was wrong with me, but I was okay with the pain.
In most of those instances that you recall, they have a goal that supersedes
Yes.
the difficulty and the pain that they're going through.
Yes. And they know they have to get through it, though. They know they have to.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what I got to do to get to that, period. So,
Exactly.
like people who are overweight, like myself, and you need to you need to work out, your desire to be fitter or healthier and not feel pain has to supersede your desire, your thoughts of, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm not lifting legs today. No. The best people that I've dealt with have been that way. They've told me, I don't like this, but it's something I have to do. So I do it. And I change my mindset when it's time to do it. I go in there with the mindset of, come on, let's get this. Because if you don't change the mindset and you do it, you're still kind of not really giving it 100%. You have to change your entire mindset and get away from this, I'm bored, get away from all that and get into, this is what I'm looking for. Let's go get this. I'm looking to be sexy for the summer. I'm looking to be healthy for as long as I can live. I'm looking for this, or I'm seeking this. This is where I'm going to go. We don't do that. We're okay with telling people, oh yeah, we were bored. The mentality of individuals saying, oh well, I'm bored. That's why I don't do that. Because bored is another excuse. I'm bored with this exercise, or I'm tired of this. You know what? Really? You're telling me you can't do something else? Anyway.
I will, and I don't know if this is way off track or not, but I was interviewing a young lady for a position, and it was, you ask those same questions that you ask, and, kind of what don't you do well, or what are your shortcomings and all. And she mentioned what it was, and in the very next breath, basically it was like, I don't do this well. So what I did was I started working on X, Y, and Z. Us stating that, for instance, doing this routine, this workout is boring, we just lay that statement out as an excuse and leave it there, as opposed to, okay, it's boring. That's the statement. So now what are you going to do?
There you go.
But we don't ever really focus on that. We focus on throwing that excuse out. So, basically people leave us alone, or it's to just excuse the behavior. Well, yeah, I picked up a few pounds because the workout got to be boring, period.
Yeah.
Well, no, you still picked up 20 pounds.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, throw the excuse out there if you have to. If that helps you sleep at night.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do?
If it brings some comfort to you in the evening hours, you could do that, but you're still, fat as hell.
When you're walking up the stairs and you're still out of breath,
listen,
I don't see how
your arteries aren't going to sit there and say, oh, well, yeah, he was bored, so it's cool.
It's okay.
We'll excuse this. We'll excuse it. Nah. No, there's no excuse to your arteries, your heart, to anything that's going on.
Arteries isn't going to clog because it's like, well, no, he was bored. Okay.
Yeah, he was bored. Let's cut him.
You can just keep rolling.
Let's cut him some slack for a couple more years. We were going to nix it about now, but let's give him an extra 10.
Yeah.
Because he was bored.
My understanding is, like, professional athletes have to be careful because when they are no longer performing professionally, when they're no longer in the field, they tend to blow up because, okay, there's no more 2 days.
Yep.
You don't have to do this anymore. And you don't have someone helping you with your workout, basically pushing you.
Yep.
So you take your foot off the gas. And sometimes they take their foot way off the gas.
Off the gas? They out the car. they left the vehicle. They're walking, not even walking. They're sitting outside on a lounge chair.
That guy that used to do that 40 and blazing speed, and you see him, and he's like, oh my goodness, what happened to him? Nothing happened to him. He just stopped.
Yeah. He's not like Darryl Green.
Yeah, exactly.
Darryl Green is an animal. What? So it shows you, here there are examples of people who push and continue.
Yeah.
I'm not that example, so please don't follow me. I'm good at like guiding you, and but yeah, don't look at my fat butt. Do not look at my fat ass and think, oh yeah, Coach Turner got all these people like that. Yeah, and I was crazy like that too, but somewhere along the road, I got bored. Not really. It's not bored that I got. It's more of I just got lazy. There's a difference between being bored with doing something and just being lazy. And I can give you all the reasons and excuses, and a lot of them are very valid. But valid don't stop your artery from clogging. Valid don't stop nothing. It don't care how valid things were.
Really? Yeah, because all excuses are valid.
Yes.
Then it's You have an invalid excuse. Okay, so
So what you gonna do? Well, that was the excuse. That's the reason why I couldn't. Okay, that's okay. That's it. There's nothing you can say to that, but okay, and move along. And when the person decides, then they hopefully will do better. But that's what I mean with. I'm specifically talking with regards to celebrities and individuals, trainers, and people out there who are influential. And when they say things like what he just said, it kind of rubs me wrong because this is going out to millions of people who don't know any better, who are going to just listen and follow what you just said and say, yeah, 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 I know what he's talking about. Of course you know what he's talking about because you was dumb like him too. Once you realize that you've been taught improperly, that's when you begin to realize, wow, it really wasn't the training. It was how I was doing the training and the individuals who taught me who didn't know what they were doing either. So it's like the blind leading the blind with the same excuses. Well, that's just part of it. That's how if you, it's like football. If you play football, you're gonna be hurt. Yes, some are not, but okay, yes. If you play football, you're only gonna go so far. That's why they look at Tom Brady now and they're just like, wow, why is he? It's amazing. It's not amazing. It's actually not amazing at all. If you look at the overall situation with Tom Brady, you'd understand why it's not so amazing. Now don't get me wrong, I give him props for what he's doing because he's smart enough to have taken certain things that he can control into his own hands and masterfully implemented them, such as his training, his off-season training. He's in it. He's getting he spends over $1 million a year on doing that. Does he have the money? Yes, but some of y'all have enough money to do that too. You don't have to go his extreme, but you do need to do that. And they don't. He values his health. So because he values his health, he went through and did whatever is necessary to get the massages daily, to get the stretching, to get the assistance, to get the nutrition, to get the training, weight training and everything else. He spends the money to maintain himself at a higher level than everybody else does. They just, hey, I'm talented and that's good, and they show up and start playing. So he lasts longer. He has healthier longevity. He also has an offensive line that protects him. He's not getting crushed. He don't have the line that Michael Vick had. he doesn't have the line that Peyton Manning has. They had their lines were full of holes. They were like a sieve, like pouring water into a sieve. It's just completely free for all. So Manning couldn't run, so he got trolloped. Vick could run, so he was running. And that's the difference. Look at it for really what it is, the totality of his situation, and you'll understand why he lasted longer. I'm not just giving the line the props because even though they did do a great part, and the entire organization understood that. I mean, Belichick was probably like, this dude couldn't run his way out of an open paper bag. He can't run. He cannot move. So let's work on his strengths. He's tall. He can see the field. He understands the game well enough to where he can dip and dunk. We set up plays like that for him to get it out of his hands quickly. There's just a myriad of things that were set up to benefit him. All right? He took it upon himself like Jordan and like, what's his name? Kobe and the greats like that. And they do that extra work on the back end. When no one else is doing it, they're doing it. So he deserves, in my opinion, his accolades. But don't just give it and say, oh, wow, this is amazing. We never would have thought. Shut up. That's because you're dumb. That's just because you're dumb. The reality is most athletes can go further longer. Unless they get a fluke injury, they can go further and stay healthier if they were to take care of themselves better. Now, some positions are harder, such as linebacker. You're cracking skulls 24/7. That's your job. You're on call 365, 24/7. You're hitting. So you're gonna get some head situations. You're gonna get other injuries that, let's say, a defensive back wouldn't get, or a quarterback. So you have to look at the position as well, and it does matter. But they're not going as tough with their health thing either. I don't think. I would never actually. Let me say this. I would never say never when it comes to the human body and the human mind and spirit, because the human body, mind, and spirit can do things that it will surprise you. So I never say never. I always live on the thing of let me see, because look at Usain Bolt. They'd say no one at 6 feet, above 6 feet was going to be good. No one above 6'2", Carl Lewis, is going to be as fast. That's the limit. They would just make things up to say, which shows your absolute ignorance of the human body and the human spirit. So I believe the athletes can go longer in their careers. I just feel that the training they get, number one, is shoddy from high school on up. And that's the thing people miss, that they start getting damaged in high school. So those small injuries and tears wear over the course of the years into the professional ranks, and where, you're just running and doing whatever and something just gives one day. Or you get hit and it's just, instead of withstanding it, it's so tired from being done wrong that something gives. We're not analyzing the training as much as we should, and they're not getting paid as much as they should, which is kind of another thing. Trainers don't get paid nothing near where they should. The coaches get millions of dollars, and the trainer gets a couple of $100,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's just as important.
Tell me, tell me if I'm wrong. I've been wrong, like
once or twice.
I remember. Yeah. So, professional athletes are trained for performance, not longevity.
Yes.
So in my mind, the goal is suspect. Because we all in this immediacy. Like I want you to perform to your utmost today. And tomorrow, if you can't walk that, it sucks for you. But I need you to be able to perform at the top of your level today. So in that view, like, trainers probably are being paid what they're worth because they have them on the wrong goal path. If they had them to work these athletes with the aim of being able to perform well at high levels for years, their position could and should be more highly thought of.
You know what's funny about what you're saying? It's absolutely true. I really hope this recorded, because if all this didn't, I would be very upset. But you're absolutely true about that. Absolutely. The sad thing is, if I'm a team owner, if I own a team, I want to get every piece of performance out of that individual. I want to get their best for as long as I can get it. Why would I not care about that? That's amazing to me. But that is a true statement. They are there to get better performance. Their thought pattern is not based in longevity, whereas my entire thing is based on longevity. It is performance that is at a higher level for a longer period. So that's very interesting. Anyway, that's enough of that. But I will be talking to you soon. Again, and we'll have some more talks, and hopefully everybody will enjoy us yakety-yakking on this thing. So until the next time, I got to find a name for this podcast or vlog or whatever we want to call it. Hopefully the next one will have a name for it. Until then, talk to you guys later, and take it easy, man.
All right, man.
Later.